Here we go.
That was coming from the Madison Police Department there as this really story continues to unfold. And you saw right there during the news conference in real time that number of casualties, unfortunately, being updated and, of course, going up there. So, again, not what you want to hear as part of a news conference, but it was happening there all in real time. So here's what we know. If you're just joining us on live now from Fox, we know that the suspect was a juvenile and was said to be a student at the school there as well. And again, we are continuing to wait for more new information that will be coming at another news conference slated for 2:30 local time right there. But really a fluid update there that was.
Hey, what's up, guys? Man, sometimes it's not fun to report on the news. I don't know if you guys saw the horrific stuff coming out of Wisconsin today, but my God, just as a parent, you just never want to see this stuff ever. And anyways, I want to talk about a little bit tonight because even though it's not fun, it's important to recognize what's going on, why this stuff happens, where the latest going on with it, and how we can understand it, how it can be prevented in the future, and also recognize the sick people who are going to use it to their own devices and advantage, and how to see through all that, because unfortunately they made it a part of the conversation, not us, and we have to talk about this stuff. But anyways, and then other news to cover, and some good news on Finger, DJT, possibly GameStop, and all the other stuff going on in the stock market. So we're going to cover that as well tonight. But wanted to start with this story because it is the most important thing going on right now. As a nation mourns, people mourn their children. This horrific stuff, and nobody wants to see it. But let me say hey to some people here first. Pardon me if my voice is a little off. I've been recovering from some gunk. But what's up, Dave Munns, number 1, Mantan 2, Mamba, what's up, Vince? I made it on for you, buddy. Vin Man, Joe, Gerald, what's going on? Kim Wiley, how you doing? BN Pro, CJ Yukon, Phil Haynes, Cindy Lou, what's up? So now what? Agent Orange, good to see you guys. AC Kasink, how's it going, buddy? Robert Armstrong, Linda Telly, how's it going? The One, you live in Madtown? No way, I didn't know you were up there. 5 miles away. God bless it. Did you know anybody that goes to that school or anything? That's horrible. I'm so sorry. That's horrific. What's up, Randy, Drew, Damn It Sean, Michael Tucker? Good to see you guys. All right. Let's go through some of this real quick. So for those of you who do or don't know, there was a school shooting in Wisconsin today, Madison, at a Christian private school of about 390 students. And a teacher was killed. A couple students were killed. A couple others are in critical condition. And the shooter was killed as well. There's a lot of speculation. Well, it's not speculation. They know who the killer was. I have, it's all over Twitter. There's pictures of her all over the place. There is some, in fact, let me bring it up right here. There is some double kind of messaging going around. People's trying to make her out to be trans again, but the better information I'm getting is that she was not a trans student, but she was very troubled. And her name was Samantha. Where is it here? The last name kind of gets me. Samantha Rupnow. And anyways, this is the best post I found on it. There were some others that were really good too, but this is the one I wanted to share so you guys can know who it was. The boyfriend provided the manifesto, which is out there, which I cannot read here on YouTube. Steven Crowder did a great segment on it. Recommend watching his channel if you want to really go deep into that. But So Samantha Rupp now went by a different name, adopted the name Samantha. Student, Abundant Life, only 15 years old. Born female, not transgender. Manifesto, War Against Humanity, 6 pages long. Difficult relationship with her parents, she referred to as some. Claims her family didn't want her or love her. Planned to commit suicide a long time ago, but wanted to commit a shooting for a better evolution. Apparently, another post I said she hated all men. Wanted to dispose them all. Listen, this just shows you the mind rot that's happening in our kids. It doesn't matter if they're trans or not. There's just... you send your kids to school, even a private school, you risk stuff. And this really always comes down to the parents. And some of these parents just want to do the best job they can, but they still trust their doctors or whatever. They put these kids on SSRIs, depression meds. I'm sure it's going to come out that she's on SSRIs. It almost always does. It numbs their souls, their emotions, to where they can do horrible things. She was a fan of the Columbine shooters, and it just goes on and on. There's already a lot of information out here. Mainstream media is not reporting this. Hopefully my YouTube channel doesn't get dinged for this, that I'm reporting it ahead of schedule. But it's everywhere. It's pretty much validated at this point. But this is what this should be avoided, guys. And we're going to get into the whole gun control thing now. In fact, our sick president has already done it. Joe Biden's using Madison, Wisconsin shooting to push his unconstitutional gun control agenda, deny law-abiding citizens their right to self-defense. Biden's using the deaths of children for political gain. Here's the official statement. Today, families in Madison, Wisconsin grieving the life. We need Congress to act now. Here it is. It pisses me off so bad. Do you guys think, and this is where I don't, I hate getting into this, but you have to. You have to say this stuff because it's so true now. The timing of this happening before Trump gets in is, I don't think it's a coincidence. Whether it's a staged government plot or whether it's just Satan himself trying to get something done before Trump gets in with guns. One way or the other, there's no way this is coincidence. I'm not making allegations on specific people. That's not what I'm doing here. So this is not crazy conspiracy. I'm just saying this is the truth. Whether it's spiritual, physical, or both, there's no coincidence here in the timing. We have Trump in a month, and this is an opportunity for the Democrats to have one last shot to pass gun control without him getting in. Because they are terrified he's going to change everything. And this is, I'm saying, guys, it's so sick. And this could easily be preventable. We never had this before. Like, a school shooting was a rarity once every 5-10 years at that. If that. We didn't have this happen before. And then Columbine happened in 99. It's been happening regularly since. You guys can determine the reason. I can tell you the guaranteed reasons are SSRIs, children on the psychopathic drugs. Social media definitely feeds it. Parents who have checked out and are refusing to be parents to their kids and instead give their kids to the system to be raised. And yes, if you feel convicted about that, I'm sorry. You still have time, hopefully, because you cannot. Our system is completely rigged against our children. And it turns them into it hurts them. It tries to destroy their identity, whether it ruins them for the future, makes them depressed, whether it turns them into little monsters, whatever it is. The public school system, the school system in general, is designed to suck the souls out of your children. It just is. And on top of that, then parents don't know what to do. They let doctors prescribe their kids drugs, and it goes down the rabbit hole. And this is what happens when you have a generation of people unwilling to raise their children because they want to be comfortable and they want to pursue their dreams. Let me tell you something. Nobody, including God himself, gives a F about your dreams if you're not living up to your responsibilities. We have been raised in a culture that's made us more important than everybody else. That is not how it works. Your dreams can happen. Everything you want for your life can happen if you actually put others first and do what you're supposed to do first. That's how it's supposed to work. And this comes from a selfish culture, and this is where it starts, guys. It starts with the parents. It does. I'm sorry. It is the parents' fault. The kids, you cannot hold a kid liable, a kid who's been abused, tested by every which way, put out in the world they aren't ready for, left to their own devices, left to their or their teachers to raise them, their doctors to raise them, their therapists. It just kills them, it's killing our children. And this is what's happening. And the sick ass Democrats and our filthy president, Joe Biden, right now want to take advantage of it to press a abysmal bill that would take away our freedoms and ruin everything for us. The only way we can keep the government off our backs. You think after COVID we could ever risk the government taking our guns away? You could have this could be so easily fixed in so many ways. Armed guards at schools, make teachers take gun courses. Listen, those sound extreme, but when you don't have parents stepping up, you can't force the parents to do that, but you can force stuff in public schools. And I'm just sick of this, guys. I'm sick of this because obviously there's the political side, but you know what? I don't even care about that. Firstly, I care about these poor kids that are showing up to school and just losing their lives. I'm caring about these poor parents who weren't the problem, who might have been good parents, and they lose their child because another parent wouldn't take care of their kid. It's horrible. It's why my kids will never step foot in a public school ever. I don't even send my kids to a regular private school. We homeschool our kids and they go to a co-op. They go to a co-op 3 days a week, which I know every parent there is hardcore about being involved in their kids' lives. And that's just the world we live in. And it's a sacrifice. I sacrifice a lot of money. I could be doing so much better. I could be driving a newer car, be taking my kids on more vacations during the year, have nicer things. But no, I sacrifice my time and money for my kids' future instead. And I know a lot of people are willing to sacrifice their money but won't sacrifice their time. And I'm just saying, these are the most precious resources in the entire world. And it absolutely breaks my heart that this happens. I have 6 kids school age, 6 kids. And today, some parent had to come home and hear a call from the school or show up there finding out that they're never going to see their kid breathing again. And it's because of the sick system we've designed that we let happen on our watch. My parents let happen on their watch. And it can never happen again. And this is why I show up every day on this show, because I want to make a difference. I want to live my life differently and make a difference. And if it's in 5 lives, if it's in 100 lives, if it's in 10,000 lives, it's fine. But at least it's about this, because you know what? Whether I'm talking stocks or we're having fun or we're pushing, trying to get Trump elected, whatever it is we're doing, whatever the goal is, it's trying to make a difference one way or the other. And days like this, it breaks my heart because it just is a reminder of how far away we still are. And listen, I don't want to be depressing or anything, but you got to treat a situation like this with the gravity it deserves. You cannot, this is not a time to laugh, joke, and this segment won't go on the whole time. But I had to talk about it because it's, as a parent, as somebody who cares about my country, who cares about the children of the country, everything I do, first and foremost, is for the kids in this country, starting with my kids. Whether it's getting the political appointments in to close the border, because 500,000 kids are missing on Joe Biden. Joe Biden acts like he cares about kids. F you, man. You let 500,000 kids disappear on your watch at the border. You don't care about kids at all. You don't care about kids. You let them be trafficked on your watch. 500,000, 500,000 that we know of, and that's just at the border. The Democrats don't care about kids at all. Not even a little bit. They pushed the COVID vaccine on babies. They're having kids vaccinated up to 72 times. I don't care if you believe in vaccines or not. That's not what I'm debating here. But there's no debate that you can't shoot up a child with 72 things before they're a couple years old and expect them to be normal and just get through it okay. That's nobody ever would have thought that. It's against all common sense. Everything we do, we put our kids in school for 40 hours a week, which basically like prison, because they can barely go outside, they can barely play, they're not allowed to laugh, they barely learn anything because they're all the other kids whose parents don't parent them at all are running around crazy, and the teachers are trying to get them in order. Your kids learn nothing in those 40 hours a week. They barely learn anything. People are letting their kids on social media at 11 years old, 10 years old, 9 years old. The average kid gets into pornography at 11 years old now. I mean, what are we doing, guys? If we don't care about our kids, if we're not willing to sacrifice for our kids, there's nothing left. There's nothing. There's no future. It's time to stop. And everything I show up here is for the kids. Whether it's helping you guys prosper so your kids and grandkids can live a better life. I care about you too. But I care more about the ones coming up under us, because guess what? We're the ones here learning and making choices. They don't get that right now. Or they don't know any better. And what we choose makes their lives better. And we can choose where it goes. And so listen, like that, nobody cares about them. Do you understand that? The schools you send them to, most of them don't care about the kids. Most of them. There are some, but most of them don't. So it's like, what are we doing? I get some people don't have a choice. You might be a single mom working 3 jobs just to survive. I get it. In that case, God be with you. When you're with your kids, give them everything. Everything you got, your time, attention. And one day, it'll all be worth it. But the point is like, we got to stop playing this game like we can just let our kids be raised by technology and other people and the state. It's ruining them. It's destroying them. And it's time to start making hard decisions if you want a real future. And I tell you what, God will bless you for it. You might say, oh, it's hard. I don't want to do it. I want to have my boat instead. Well, you're a baby then. You're a child. You're not a grown-up. That's not what this is about. But you can have it all if you put the right things first. And this sickens me. I'm so disgusted by the president here right now. Trump can't get in fast enough. We need a real man in the White House again. We need real people, men and women, in charge of our government again. It's time. I'm so sick of it. I just can't do it anymore. I blame these people, Democrats, Republicans, and ourselves, for letting them get in power. We are the reason this all happened, because we checked out for way too long, and it can't happen anymore. It can't happen anymore. You cannot live a selfish life and it not impact others. And then what we did is we thought a whole selfish generation could grow up and be fine, and the government would take care of us. And we're learning that that's just not possible. Let me catch up on your comments, and then we'll move to the next segment, and I'll try to cheer up a little bit. So now it says we must speak against evil, but give it 6 months and won't be a conspiracy. I agree. Johnny, there's a total attack on our kids through media like YouTube too. Horrible stuff. You're 100% right. 100% right on that. Man, blood's on the hand of the radical Dems for pushing this transition crap news for attacking Christian. There's definitely some of that for sure. The one says you're there, but your wife knows someone that knows a friend their child was there. Oh my God. I hope they're okay. Sorry, Drew. I don't remember who you're talking about. Hey, what's up, Thomas? I hope you're feeling better, brother. No, Joe did not write this letter, but he's either signed his name to it or they're just using him for it, but it's still, yeah, you 100% blame the pharmaceutical company. Listen, you cannot just 100% blame the pharmaceutical companies, Robert, although I understand why you say that. And Thomas, you can't 100% blame the school system either. You can't, because guess what? Ultimately, we are still in charge of our kids. And anybody else we blame, we can say there's problems there. Absolutely. I can say the school system's messed up. I can say the pharmaceutical system's messed up. I can say they hate our kids, want to indoctrinate our kids, want to turn our kids into little druggies at a young age. And all of it's true. But the ultimate responsibility is with the parents. It is. Whether you want to hear it or not, I know it hurts, but it's a hard truth. We choose what our kids do. We choose if we send our kids to school. We choose how they get their education. We choose if they got vaccinated. We choose if we allow the doctor to get them a shot or a surgery. We choose that. And it's okay to blame and say like this stuff because it's all true. But you can't blame all that. Ultimately, it comes down to a generation and multiple generations now where it's just progressively gotten worse of parents not being parents. Parents saying, we trust these people to handle our kids. We trust the school to grow our kids and take care of our kids for 40 hours a week. We trust the doctors. Anything they say, we will inject into our kids and do with our kids, get their kids out. We trust them because we didn't want to do it. We didn't want to grow and learn. It is us. It's us. It ultimately comes down to us. And we can say we were duped, we were all that, but fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Everybody, listen, my first son was vaccinated because I didn't know any better. And now he's autistic. None of my other kids are vaccinated and they're all perfectly healthy, barely ever get sick. And I know that's just my own experience, but my own experience speaks volumes to me. So Linda says there should not be anything more important than our children. They didn't ask to be here. We owe them the best life. Exactly. If you're going to have kids, they come first. They come first. Donna was able to stay home with your kids 15 years. God bless you for that. That's hard to do. That's very hard to do. Don, glad children have grown, sent them to Christian school. One 12 years, one 6 years. I don't want to tell his friend says it was a cult. Wow. Cindy Lou, your daughter twins at 2.5 months old. The babies had their 2-month vaccines. One died 3 days after. Oh my God. And a friend that had the same thing. That's so horrible. Cindy, I'm so sorry you lost your grandbaby like that. That's horrible. So now what? Our government punishes parents who discipline their kids. Parents become afraid to parent. That's true. So now you're right. Heidi says, I work with adult survivors of human trafficking. 100% parents that were not good to their kids. Yes, I know. Thomas, ironic when we went to school, spankings by the principal were allowed. Was bad enough you got when you got home. Don't remember school shooting in the 70s or 80s. There were, but they weren't that widespread. But you're right. It has something to do with that, Thomas. I don't think it's just spankings, though. It's far beyond that. But discipline definitely plays into it. But it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. But that is a part. Preston, your wife and you sacrifice everything for your kids. No grain invested. Multiple co-ops, kids with you 24/7. Wine faith. Good for you. Alan, problem is we trusted colleges. That is a big part of it. Yeah, but this happened in high school. It happens in high school too. Sydney Lewis says, send our kids to private school. They did fine, but schools changed. Homeschooled our oldest granddaughter. She did great. Listen, I went to a private school. It was great. But things have changed. Things have changed. Sorry, Phil, you're feeling depressed. Listen, we're going to move on from this, but I had to address it. I know it's not fun. But anyways, God bless you guys. Parents, I know you're doing your best, but we just have to keep fighting for our kids. That's what it comes down to. So, all right, let me keep moving on. We'll move on to other news, not as depressing, but we had to discuss it. It just has to be talked about. If not here, then where? This has to be talked about. It really does. So, all right, Phil, for your sake, I'll start moving on. Okay. What else do I got here? This is interesting. Came out today. So we got James O'Keefe Media dropping this bombshell of this guy. I can't play it. It's 13 minutes long. It's way too long to play. But dropped some really interesting stuff in here. speaking of old Uncle Joe in the White House, we have Joe Biden is dead, he says. This is a National Security Council advisor. It says Biden can't even say a sentence at this point. He's progressed in his old age. Says we're concerned about Trump coming after us. We're trauma bonded, lots of tears over the election. It's worth the listen. This is 13 minutes long again, and I can't recommend it enough. Crazy stuff. We don't have a president right now. We don't. We have a group of people who hate our country, who are trying to progress their own agenda, and they're doing everything they can to stop Trump before he comes in, to make it as hard for him as possible. So, yeah, Phil, I agree with you. Cindy Lou, your oldest granddaughter, vaccinated baby. She's dyslexic. Like I said, graduated past year, homeschooled her. Wow, that's awesome. Alan, you went to a Catholic school after 2 years in public. Wow. Yeah, it is. Heidi. Yeah, it's an amazing story. James O'Keefe just gets the best stuff. Thank you, Mark. Yeah, please like, share, subscribe. Even if you like my depressing opening. Listen, sometimes it's not all fun and games here. I usually laugh. I'm usually very optimistic. I'm usually a lot of fun. If you're new here, we cover the news with a lot of humor and optimism. We definitely cover the news, but today I just had to go through the hard stuff a little bit and just deliver some hard medicine, because it's just horrific what's out there. And those kids that gave their lives today, that teacher that gave her life, they deserved a sober opening. They did. And so God bless them, and pray for the parents and the families of those people who passed, because can't imagine what they're going through. So anyways, Biden is basically dead. Here's some more quotes. Joe Biden is like dead, not literally like he can't say a sentence. We give all the senior policymakers all the secrets. Isn't that nice to know? So they're just playing one little deep state game up there in our government right now. Calling a phone call in which the president struggled to understand the simple phrase novel phenomenon Apple shared. Biden was just like, what do you mean, like a book? When my boss used the word novel? Come on, man. I can't think anymore. Apple didn't stop there. Recounting exchange from a call with Biden revealing, I picked up the phone and said, hello, Mr. President. And he asked for Jake Sullivan. After a brief exchange, Biden called me back 10 seconds later asking again, is Jake there? I told Biden, no, he's traveling with you. He's on the same trip that you are. Isn't that crazy? And again, they're terrified of Trump coming after them. This is nuts. Can I put a link to the O'Keefe video? Absolutely. I'm happy to do so. Let me share it right now. I'll just post the link right here for you, Mike. It's in the chat. There you go. Alan, it was either Catholic or Jewish. Problem was I wasn't Jewish. That's funny. Cindy Luco is so hard on those kids, and going back to school for 2 years hurt their social skills. It did. But again, it comes down to parents. Why are they just learning social skills at school? My kids didn't go to school and they don't have social issues, But I know you're right. You're definitely right. It does have a part of it. But the problem is way before COVID as well. COVID just made it worse. So, anyways, crazy stuff though. Crazy stuff. Is MSM's going to have the same talking points as shooting for gun control? Oh, I'm sure they will. I guarantee you they push it every time. And I tell you right now, they've been given a push to do it. So that's just how this works. All right, let me keep moving on here. So the drones, guys, here's this Charlie Kirk news. So I tend to trust it. Doesn't mean it's 100% accurate. So take this with a grain of salt. But apparently radioactive material has gone missing in transit near New Jersey since 12/2/24. U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission posted alert on their website to Cat 3 nuclear waste come up missing. Containers found damaged and empty. If this is true, this is a good possibility of what's going on with these drones. These drones over New Jersey. This has been scary stuff. And yet, Trump doesn't seem too worried about it. He issued this statement today, and I want to play this whole thing for you guys. It's only 50 seconds, so let's listen to Trump here.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big distance.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from, If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people, and they should, because the
Trump made a great point right there, that if it was the enemy, they would have already shot them down. So that's, to me, a very interesting point, which means it's probably very likely ours.
people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster. Want to know the truth.
So he goes on to say that I'm not going to Bedminster because I noticed where they're at, which, again, very interesting stuff. So Trump, first of all, a couple of things I noticed here. A, Trump doesn't seem very concerned, which I told you guys, that to me is very important. When he doesn't seem concerned, he seems to be able to make light of it. That to me says Trump knows what's going on and he's not worried. And so that gives me peace. Okay. It also is very interesting that he dropped a big bomb here saying, we definitely know it's not the other side. I think Trump knows exactly what this is. I think he knows he can't say it, but he's calling out the government for not saying it. He's saying it's ours. They're up there. What are they doing? They're over Bedminster. You might not want to be around there. This to me all lines up with this whole possibility of this nuclear waste they're looking for, maybe a dirty nuke or something like that, but he's not worried about going off. But still, there'd be radiation in that area. And maybe that's what Trump's saying. It's coded language here. Maybe stay away from Bedminster, but don't worry about the drones. They're ours. They're not aliens. They're not Iran. They're not China. You know, and so this was awesome that he spoke out on this, because I think this gives a lot on here. Is my sound bad? Check. My sound looks good here. Hopefully it stays okay. Hulkamaniac with the $20 donation. Thank you, brother. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Always means a lot to be supported here on the channel. So thank you, Hulk. I got a little challenge going on here. I want to do a big New Year's stream, so I just said if there's 10 super chats, we'll blow it out for the New Year's stream. So thank you, Hulk. You're number one. Appreciate it, brother. Very much so. Just Mike, it didn't share the link. Okay, just go to Twitter and look up James O'Keefe. I don't think YouTube allows me to share X links sometimes. So Gerald says, I thought the drones were a new neighborhood watch program. You live in Dayton, Ohio, and starting to see it near Patterson Air Force Base. Interesting. Drones have legal lights. Interesting. Hawk says, keep up the good work. I rarely make a live watch all your videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I really do. Trump has a different hairstyle. Let's get to 100 likes. Thank you, Mark. Please like, share, subscribe. Cindy Lou, legal lights mean government compliance. They belong to the government. Interesting. I didn't know that. So that's great. Yeah, Trump's definitely getting intelligence briefing. Thank you, Alan, for confirming that same thought. Trump worked his magic today, negotiate $100 billion investor on TV, maybe $200 billion. I know, I saw it. If you get a chance, guys, I recommend, this was Trump's first full-scale press conference since becoming elected. It is well worth watching the whole thing. He did fantastic. And so it is definitely worth watching the whole thing. Capkey, heard the nuke material like Cat 3 fairly inert. If you handle it over a period of time, cause nausea, will go away after several days. Casual contact won't hurt you. That's interesting, Robert. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. So inert is good. That's good. That's good. Drew, if it was X-Name, Qfinity, and Janet Yell was to one selling treasuries, once she was going to stop, it will bounce. Oh, okay. You're talking about the treasury selling. Yeah. I mean, we're almost at that range. I'm about to talk about the economy here in a minute. So you sent me a warning about my take on the post office. All right, Vin, let me see what you got here. Whoa. Warning on on my post office take. I don't see it, Vin. I don't see you on here. Sorry, bud. I don't see what you're saying. Cindy Lewis says, heard rumors radiation levels were high in New Jersey, New York. Really? That's interesting. Thomas says, my friend's son has top security clearance in the Army and teaches new recruits need to practice flying real-life scenarios before receiving foreign mission. Okay. Vin, I got this for you here. All right, let's... So in Canada, you know, Trump's been going nuts on Trudeau, trolling him about being a governor of a new state. You got to see what's happening. This is in their parliament in Canada. And just watch this. It's only 13 seconds, but this is hilarious.
This is as serious as it gets. The finance minister quit hours before she was supposed to do this, and she doesn't have confidence in this prime minister. No one does. This man is a disgrace, and we need an election now. This is as...
Wow. So in Canada, they're getting ready to revolt against Trudeau, even his own parliament. So the Trump effect is spreading, which is awesome. I just, that's all I got to say about it. But hey, guys, all my Canada friends here, you guys watching, good things might be coming. If Moody was on here, she'd be excited. I know she would. Or Chris, it's coming, buddy. It's coming. You don't think the drones are unmanned? One flew close to your house and swears Nancy Pelosi. That's awesome. More on the pardons. Joe Biden is now up to over 8,000 pardons. This is sick. It's just sick. You can see the difference here. First of all, look how, going back, Nixon didn't even break 1,000. There's some speculation over Carter, if you should consider it more, because he pardoned all the people who jumped ship for Vietnam, who dodged the draft. But, you know, I know that was a lot of people. So, but other than that, you see under 500 always until Obama did almost 2,000. And now Biden's over 8,000. Now, I mean, listen, let's go back here. And the deep state really started entrenching itself. The beginnings were under Wilson. Okay, so Wilson, he instituted the Fed in 1913, World War I, all that. That's when the deep state started really growing in America, but really still wasn't a big deal yet. Then Roosevelt came, the New Deal came, and all of a sudden the deep state is, the government's really growing to a point where there can be a deep state. Then World War II starts, we start the CIA, United Nations. It's growing more and more entrenched. Eisenhower in the 50s warns us about the military-industrial complex. So it's starting to grow. Kennedy comes out talking about secret societies. So there's still a counterbalance there, but there's definitely something going on deep state-wise. Nixon comes in super paranoid. Obviously, you see a lot of his pardons here. Corruption's growing. Ford, barely president for like 2.5 years. That's a lot of pardons. And you just see then the Democrats, Reagan had 8 years in office, 400 pardons. Bush, 77, which is not that much. And then we get where the Democratic Party is just fully co-opted. It starts under the Clintons. This is where the deep state been growing, but this is where it really came in, is under Clinton. And you see the pardons go up. Bush comes in, which I'm actually surprised at how low his were. But obviously he gets the Patriot Act passed. We lose a bunch of our rights and freedoms as Americans to privacy. He brings in, gets us into the Great War phase of America. And all of a sudden, we're basically just taken over by intelligence agencies under Bush. He starts it. Then we get the most corrupt, evil person in history as our president. It's Barack Obama, who's the great Manchurian candidate, comes in, and it's just all of a sudden the government's full-on criminal. And you see almost 2,000 pardons, just light years ahead of everybody else. Trump comes in, tries to reform things, 230 pardons. You guys can go through his list. There's a couple that are weird, but other than that, they all make sense. And now we have 8,000 pardons in a one-term president. 8,000 pardons. It's just, you can actually see the growth of the corruption as this happens. It's just insane. It's insane. 8,000. I mean, he's not even done yet. So I just, it's staggering. It's staggering how bold and blatant they are, and just in front of us all just doing this and don't even care. It's so gross. Hobbs, am I allowed to play the clip of the kid running next to Trudeau and calling him? No, not on YouTube. I wish. What are Biden's pardons for? I mean, you name it. He's pardoned all kinds of terrible people. He's pardoned multiple people who embezzled money. One woman who bankrupted her entire town. He pardoned the judge who was letting people pay him to make kids guilty and send them to prison. The pay for play for kids. Literally, one woman's child committed suicide because he was innocently sent to prison because of this judge. Biden pardoned him. He pardoned a pedophile, like a renowned pedophile. And that's just 3. That's just 3 I know of out of 8,062. Hunter Biden, obviously. So yeah, you could go through his list. They'll probably just make you sick. What aren't they for is the better question, right, Matthew? It's so true. If that's not really pardon, then there's no pardons. That's a good, so now what? You are not wrong, but if his signature is on there, I don't know what the legal standing would be unless there's an overturning of the 2020 election results because of an investigation. In that case, yes, I would overturn all pardons. Knowing Biden, they paid millions to be pardoned. Oh, 100%. Yeah. It said, I commented on the post office constitutionality. That's where I gave you. Oh, that's where you gave me a heads up. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll talk about the post office in a minute. There's all kinds of different pardons, Cindy. I mean, you name it. Alan says, when you get or fall when you're over 60, 50% chance you could die. Pelosi, can you see the Reaper? Ace, I'm not going to. Pelosi is probably not doing well right now. But we'll see. We'll see. She does have a lot of money. Can the pardon be reversed to put them in jail? I see 2 ways the pardon could be reversed. A, if Trump challenges them in court and the Supreme Court deems that a pardon was somehow illegal, or the presidency is overturned. But that's it. That's literally it, guys, because the pardon is one of the main powers of the presidency that's pretty much unchecked. The Constitution is very clear. The president just has power to pardon, and that's it. It's cut and dry. There are no stipulations that I know of at all in the Constitution on pardon power, so they're very difficult to overturn, if they even can be. So, has Biden pardoned more people than all other presidents combined? That's a good question. I would say probably not, but it's probably close, because let's just do some rounding here. You got 900, 400, 1,300. Let's round this one to 1,600. That's 1,900, 2,300, 2,400, 2,600, 2,800, 4,800, 5,000. So you got about just around 5,000 combined with all these presidents since Nixon up to Biden. So it's probably not more than every other president combined, but it's definitely more than the last, 7,500 years almost. So pretty crazy. If we all go to the IRS to take our money back, I think Biden will give us a pardon. You have to do it fast. He's almost gone. He'll pardon the Epstein list. Now that would be crazy. The people would revolt over that one. They really would. Randy says Trump ended Bush, Cheney, and Clinton, Obama, Biden uniparty. I agree. Yeah. I see LeBron kissing another guy. No, but I don't know if I want to see it. I'll take your word for it. Okay. I'll talk about the post office real quick here. So Trump came out the other day, said he wants to privatize the USPS, which, by the way, that would be great. It'd be better for everybody, honestly. But here you go. The USPS has just been a Ponzi scheme for years for government just to throw money at. $3 billion to build 93 electric mail trucks. That's insane. Wonder where that money really went. Your guess is as good as mine, but somebody's pockets are a lot fuller, I can tell you that. And so he's out there saying privatize it, and there's a senator coming out saying, no, that's protecting the Constitution, but it's not. The post office can completely be privatized. The only thing it says in the Constitution is that Congress has the power to create post offices, but it doesn't say the post office is protected. So thought that was kind of an interesting story, but I wanted to share this more than anything else. This just shows you again how inept the Biden administration has been. Country says, if a president was convicted of treason, would that nullify his pardons? It's possible if the treason conviction goes back to before the pardons were committed. So I would say that's very possible. Can Joe pardon Jill for marrying an idiot? I don't think so. I like that, though. There's this big news out there that they're trying to push a bill to abolish the Electoral College. This is all over Twitter right now, and all I got to say is this is a complete non-story, and I just wanted to tell you guys why, and then we can move on, because it's really nothing. This is constitutional. The Electoral College is embedded in the Constitution. Not only do you have to have 2/3 of Congress pass this, which good luck, 2/3 of Congress, then to ratify it, if somehow you get 66 senators to pass it, and 2/3 of the House to pass it. If you somehow pull that off, you still have to get 75% of the states to ratify it. Do you really think when there's more red states than blue states that 75% of them would ratify this as a new amendment to the Constitution? There's no way in hell. This is a news thing. They're trying to rally up their base. They're trying to get donations in, and that's all this is. It's a non-starter. Don't be afraid of it. It's absolutely insane. There's no way they can get this passed. Biden's really taking the title and ran with it. No country for old men. Yes, let's get rid of NPR. NPR is so terrible. Okay, let's keep going. Let's a little on the economy now. So Kirsten Shaughnessy posted the largest U.S. banks have lost $660 billion in cash assets in the last 3 years. I showed you guys the stuff on the other banks, the bank issues in the last, the way they're having trouble with liquidity, and they're just passing it around back and forth. I shared my story about that recent deposit I made that took almost a week to be deposited, and they did it in 3 chunks. This is getting crazy, and liquidity is definitely running out at the banks. So here's the story right here. But I recommend following Kirsten Shaughnessy on X. She's always posting this stuff. It's really good. We have reverse repo is almost completely gone. So this is where the banks pull their money from when they are drained. You can see how high it was just recently. This is 2022, 2021, and just crashing down the last year and a half, 2 years. We're almost at zero. And what does this mean? Banks will now be exposed and vulnerable to fragile plumbing of the financial system. So this is how banks have stayed afloat. It's one of the ways. When liquidity is drying up, when the economy's been bad. And now they're actually going to have to deal with that fact. So this is scary. I'm telling you, I can't control timing, and other stuff could happen. But right now it looks really, really bad for our economy and where we're going. Gerald says that income tax has not been ratified yet, according to that. The income tax story, if you guys ever research that, is pretty crazy, how they got that amendment passed. And it's very shady, and by all intents and purposes, it wasn't legally passed. So, yeah, that's a good point there, Gerald. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe if you like the show. And let's keep going. Almost at the end here. We want to talk about our stocks here. So someone just bought $3 million worth of 125 calls. So what do you guys think? Last 15 minutes of trading. Somebody's getting excited, folks, about what could be going on in GameStop. I saw another post that said GameStop's been running in 4-year cycles from the first time ever, which I didn't know about this, but apparently there was a run in 2017. 2021 was the big run, and then the next 4-year cycle would be 2025. Take that for a grain of salt. I don't know how accurate that is, but these are big calls. $3 million worth. January 17th, $125 calls in the last 15 minutes of trading. That's a big deal coming in at the end there. That's strategic. There's a reason that happened. And he says right here, I wonder who that was. Roaring Kitty. Yeah, you think? That's who made this all happen last time, manipulating, moving his calls and stuff around. So let's go look at it. GameStop, by the way, did not have a good day today. The Dow was down for the 8th day in a row, extending that record. We have GameStop here pushed up at the end. Most of the day it was down. Now, why is it interesting it pushed up at the end? Well, most of the day it was down while DJT and Finger were having themselves a holiday. And usually when those are running up and GameStop's going down, it's because they're pulling from GameStop. They're pulling from another stock in their basket to fight the ones running. But listen to me. The big thing, and I was just talking to Pedro about this today, and I'm sorry I don't have Ham on tonight. I know you guys wanted him. He was playing ball until 10, and I can't. I'm not going to have time to try to get him on my show, but I'll try to have Ham on here soon, and Pedro, and Bam too if I can get him, because I think a lot's happening in the economy and with our stocks soon, so I think it's time to get all these guys back on the show. But talking to Pedro today, he was telling me where it gets really interesting is where all these stocks are rising at the same time. Because when one's down, the other's up, that means they're pulling, they're fighting. But when they're all going up, that's when it could get really interesting. So GameStop down almost all day. You can see the chart here. Down and then spikes up at the end. Why do you think we saw that spike? Well, I can tell you one of the reasons. There's a lot of $3 million worth of calls bought at the end, so that helps. But you see it spikes up. We finish good. But what's interesting is that DJT, so obviously GameStop's showing some strength. They can't fight off right now. DJT absolutely crushed it all day today and held. It was up from the beginning of the day, and they just could not get it down. It's a very good sign for DJT. Very good. They knocked it down a little bit in after hours, but I'm not too worried about that. That's after hours is whatever. We'll see what's happening in pre-market. But DJT doing this is very impressive. And Richie says DJT is 38.62 right now. Is that on Robinhood? 24-hour trading? So obviously people are still bullish on DJT on the trading outlet where there's not as much trading going on. So that's really good stuff. But I'm telling you guys, DJT closing over 38 is a really big deal. This was one of Bam's test areas, 38 for a retest. His next one is 47, and after that is 88. So far, since I talked to him at the end of October on this show with you guys, every one of his test areas have hit. Every one of them. And the stock has been trading exactly like his algorithm was telling him it would. And so based on what Bam was telling me, we're in the area where we could see a spike up to 88 here soon. Not financial advice, guys. I'm just telling you what Bam's algorithm is saying. But his tests are after 38. The next one's 47, then 88. And then if it breaks 88, he sees it capable of going up to as high as like 145. So it could get very interesting here in DJT. If DJT is breaking open like this, I think we're seeing the breaking open in GameStop. And then obviously Finger. I want to finish on Finger because Finger surprised us all today. Out of nowhere. Now, it doesn't look like Finger did much by the end of the day, although percentage-wise it still had a good day and strong. But look at this chart. Finger out of nowhere today rocketed up to 269 at one point, 262, just hanging out there in the 260s for a while before they beat it back down. Now, to me, this looks like somebody let off some steam and then they crushed it back down. But the point is that, guys, volume is over almost 1 million again. That's excellent. The point is that we're seeing all the meme stocks, DJT, GameStop, the big ones are starting to do stuff. And to me, that's starting to have an effect also on Finger motion where these guys, They're starting to lose control a little bit. They're starting to have to make moves a little bit, a little bigger moves than they've been wanting to make. So if they make a big announcement soon, hopefully that dividend gets officially announced with a timeline soon. I think that could be a catalyst, not for a big squeeze yet, but definitely send it up. And we could just be really having some big momentum and finger coming into the Trump administration, where they're going to go after the naked short sellers. We saw that they appointed Devin Nunes the other day to a position. Really good things are coming. And I think any of these stocks, again, not financial advice, is my opinion, just what I'm seeing, but all these stocks are looking good right now, like really good. And we're starting to see a really good momentum in the world of the shorts are getting attacked. Trump and Nunes, well, Trump from the side, but Nunes this weekend hit short selling hard. And we saw a major breakout in all these stocks today. So we're getting closer and closer to that inauguration. There's only so many trading days left. It's going to get very interesting coming up here soon. What's up, FGCV? I still have some GTI too, man, but it's all tied up, so that sucks. Kohler, they announced the end of the deal with Univest today. That is also true. They Finger put out an 8K today, announced the deal with Univest was officially over, which, you know what? That was a big old bummer that nothing came of Univest, but at the same time, it's probably strategic. They're divesting of them now as the dividend's ramping up. So that'd be my guess anyways. Cody says, old meme basket stock trend must be cooking. It sure looks like it, doesn't it? What's up, Andy? Good to see you. Vin, could Trump and his team have access to CAT system, be monitoring? I 100% think, I don't think they do yet, but they will. So the one bought 1,500 on the drop day and figured, nice. I think stuff's coming. So Dave Munn says only 82 likes. Come on, guys. We can get to 100 likes. Got 170 watching. Hit that like, guys. Hit that share, subscribe. I appreciate it. I really do. Let's try to break 100 on the likes before we leave here. Just take that 1 second, support the channel. That's all I ask. And if you want to be a member, hit that $3 join button. That's awesome too. So I appreciate it. But listen, we have. Matthew says, think it means the audit's over. Depends on the completion of it. For the dividend, yeah, I think you're right, Matthew. Okay, what was I saying? Okay, so rest of this week, guys, obviously the holidays are coming up. I plan on this being a regular week. I might have a guest. I'm trying to get my buddy Cruz on to talk crypto. And so we'll see what happens there. And then I have another fun guest I want to have on. Other than that, next week's Christmas, so we'll see what that week looks like. And then New Year's, I plan on doing a really fun late night, long live like I did last year. So we're going to talk, hang out, have some fun, have some drinks if you want, and just have a good old New Year's Eve party on the live. So we'll see what goes on with that. But I'm excited where we're going. I am. Obviously, we can't get Trump in fast enough. The Democrats, the Biden administration, pulling some shady stuff right now. And, just pray for our country. Pray for our country. Pray for what's going on. Pray for wisdom and how to navigate it. I don't think we're going to see anything extremely dangerous. I don't think we're going to see a nuke attack or terrorist attack, anything like that. But you never know. You never know. And just be ready in case. But at the same time, pray that they're not able to get much done. Pray that they're not able to get much done to stop, make things harder for Trump. Because that would be just, we just don't want to see that. We don't. Van, I'm looking for your warning. I still don't see it, man. Where, I'm trying to pull this up before I get off, Vin, but I'm just not seeing what you're talking about. I see your stuff from Tiffany Fong about LeBron, but I don't see your post office warning. I'm sorry, I don't see it. That's weird. It's not showing me. Maybe it's this one. Oh, hold on. Maybe I finally found it. No, it's not pulling up the comment. I think it blocked your comment. It shows I have a comment, but it doesn't show you on here. See? Is this the post? It says watch comment, and I clicked on it, and there's no comment listed. So it blocked you. OX. Still not completely free, but still better than everywhere else. Anyways, love you guys. Let's end in a prayer, and especially wisdom, because if it's about to be short squeeze season, we're all going to need guidance on how to navigate it so we can maximize our profits and also not be stupid and miss it and get caught holding a bag because we were trying to get numbers we couldn't get. So just take what you've learned these last few years, months, and we all got to make profits and hopefully jump into a second or third one, and that's where you really make your big profits, if we can time it right. So we might be there, though, guys. We might be there. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed. Timing is the most impossible thing to predict, but all the signs are looking really good right now, and we'll see if that continues. But anyways, let's end in a prayer. And again, thank you guys for supporting the channel. You're the absolute best. Couldn't do it without the support, especially the members, because this is time consuming, and you guys make it possible so that I can just keep showing up, and it's worth my while and my family's while to give up the time with me. So thank you guys for supporting the channel. And I have some changes I'm going to be making coming into next year to start the new year. Some little changes in the channel, which will definitely make being a member better, as if I'm able to pull off what I want to pull off. So it's gonna be fun. So Robert says, your son goes in Thursday for his 10th heart surgery. Oh my God. Well, we'll be praying. I'll pray for him right now. So, all right. Well, Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless all these people here. Thank you for this country and for how you're preserving and saving this country. We just pray that everybody trying to hurt the Trump administration, what the people voted for, are stopped in Jesus' name. All this nonsense, all this lies and manipulation they're trying to do of these tragedies they're trying to take advantage of. I just pray, God, that it blows up in their face and they are rejected and judged for the evil of trying to take advantage of people who lost their children and the other horrors that happen in this country. And anybody taking advantage of it, I just pray, God, that they just face their consequences for that, appropriate consequences. Lord, we pray protection over Trump and his team to get in. I pray, God, for Robert's son, that he's healthy, God, and taken care of in his heart surgery. You guide the surgeon's hands every step of the way. Pray for Thomas and his health, Lord, and anybody else who's recovering right now. In Jesus' name, just bless them. And God, I just thank you for all you do for all of us. Give us wisdom as we navigate this season. I pray no matter what happens going forward, we can all prosper and do better for our friends and family and those around us. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. Bless you. Thank you so much for all you guys do.